Every day, there are thousands of busts going on around the world, hundreds in the U.S., where they are finding children, snuff films, children in cages, you name it. And it's happened again. U.S. Marshals find dozens of missing children in Georgia as sex slaves. But you'll never see this on the national news because the New York Times, CNN, and Kevin McCarthy say it does not exist. But Jeffrey Epstein and the kidnapping rings and the snuff films and the eugenics and all of this does exist. Here's part of the report.
Evil exists, and to address it requires leadership that will identify it, call it out, and deploy the necessary resources to end the problem and clean up the mess. To address it requires agents and foot soldiers and prosecutors that are willing to take the fight to the enemy. That is why I'm so thankful for the leadership of the Trump administration.
Who are these individuals? Well, they believe they're God, and their religion is having no empathy and feeding on humans like we're lower than cattle. And so when you see Kevin McCarthy, the leader of the Republicans in the House Minority Leader, come out and say, oh, there's no child molestation rings, there's no international cabal of child molestation and blackmail. He's joining Jeffrey Epstein. He is joining the whole system that uses the abuse of children as a global currency and a way to compromise people. He is covering that up. And Congressman Gosier and others have come out and exposed it and said it's a terrible thing what he's doing. So you still have these establishment Republicans that are a big, big problem and are really openly opposing President Trump's agenda. Trump knows there's a major pedophile problem. Trump knows there's a major devil worshiper problem. It's the operating system of these people. Go out to an Antifa meeting. They're almost all have Mao and Baphomet tattoos. One of the guys that got shot tried to chase down and attack the young man in Wisconsin a few nights ago, who's now facing life in prison for murder one. He was wearing a bandana with the Baphomet on it. And of course, he had a long rap sheet and criminal background. And the other guy was a convicted child rapist of a 12-year-old girl, and also had a long laundry list of things as well. And the other guy had a big laundry list of things. But you read CNN articles about them. They were heroes. They were good. They did nothing. They don't tell you that at least one of the men was chasing the young man with a handgun in his hand with an extended aiming at him. You read the CNN articles, not one single mention of any of this. So we've gotten to the point now where Rittenhouse is a criminal for defending himself, but when the left goes out and actually attacks patriots and actually shoots people in the head at communist checkpoints and the rest of it, it's hardly even in the news. And when it comes out, it is approved of because people like Maxine Waters and others have said, go out and do this to drive the American people into submission. And a lot of people say, well, this should backfire on them. People should revolt against this. Why do they think that it's intimidating us? Why do they think that bullying us will work? Well, they've bullied us on language and on culture and on our economy and on our system for decades. And all we've done by increments is give in and bow down. And so that's why now in 2020, they're swinging for the fences because they have nothing to lose. They know you're starting to wake up. They know people realize that submission is tyranny, that submission is slavery and death. And so they're trying to finish the job right now. And so you're going to see more tyranny in the next few months, the next few years than you saw the last 50 because they're compressing it all into this time period right now. That's why the level of danger is so incredibly high if we don't all stand up and say no to these bullies and speak out and exercise our speech. I've got an article here where Baby Lives Matter mural painted outside Planned Parenthood clinic. And now they've been giving the Margaret Sanger Award for 60-something years at Planned Parenthood, the famous Nazi eugenicist that Hitler said, quote, was his leader and his Bible and his mentor. They no longer give the Margaret Sanger Award a few months after the original Planned Parenthood in New York took her name off of it. So we can go to the left and go to the Democrats and point out, you founded the KKK. You founded Jim Crow. The NRA was founded to counter you and your terrorist cells, the KKK, literally. And you run these Nazi operations and you've enslaved black people. That's how you counter them, is with the truth. But let's get back to what the sheriff's department came out and said. John Melvin, evil exists. That's why I'm so thankful for President Trump. Every day, there are thousands of busts going on around the world, hundreds in the U.S., where they are finding children, snuff films, children in cages, you name it. And it's happened again. U.S. Marshals find dozens of missing children in Georgia as sex slaves. But you'll never see this on the national news because the New York Times, CNN, and Kevin McCarthy say it does not exist. But Jeffrey Epstein and the kidnapping rings and the snuff films and the eugenics and all of this does exist. Here's part of the report.
Evil exists, and to address it requires leadership that will identify it, call it out, and deploy the necessary resources to end the problem and clean up the mess. To address it requires agents and foot soldiers and prosecutors that are willing to take the fight to the enemy. That is why I'm so thankful for the leadership of the Trump administration on the federal level, as well as Director Washington, Attorney B.J. Pack, and our brethren at the FBI. And on the state level, I'm very thankful for the leadership of Governor Kemp, Director Reynolds, as well as Attorney General Chris Carr. Evil exists, and it requires the coordinated partnerships to maximize our impact against it. So I want to thank every agent, every marshal, every member of the Bureau, the FBI, and every local agent that participated in fighting this evil. And whether you're behind a keyboard or you're on the street for a takedown, I want you to know that you made a difference. I want to say thank you to our leadership also for recognizing the need for a holistic approach as we fight evil. For not only did we take them down, but we're also partnering with Wellspring as well as CHOA to clean up the mess. CHOA and Wellspring are really providing a ministry to the harmed souls that this evil has caused. I'm grateful for our leadership and our agents, the members of the GBI like Debbie Garner, and our SEAC unit, who helped track them down. I'm thankful for the U.S. Marshal's Office and Marshal Yeager, who allowed us to participate in this effort. I want y'all to continue to pray for Hannah Palmquist, who's the head of the Human Trafficking Unit at the AG's office, as well as John Fowler, because we're only halfway to the gold line. We need to hold these perpetrators accountable, and we need to make sure that they are incarcerated so that they will never again perpetrate their evil against the children of the state of Georgia.
Please remember that it's down to the wire. When I say please tell people about ban.video or newswars.com or infowars.com, people are ready to hear the truth. Everything is basically censored now. We built our own system to be able to do this. We're on over 200 radio stations. We're on over 100 TV stations and cable stations, and we've got ban.video. Get the videos from ban.video. Get the articles. So many videos, so many films, so many reports can only be found at ban.video. All these top medical doctors can't even come out and say what happened with their patients, or they're banned. And now they're getting in trouble, and now they're losing their licenses. I mean, this is terror. And we're under massive attack, massive infiltration, massive globalist operations that I can't even get to on air, but your prayers are keeping us in the fight. So just thank you so much. And please don't forget, the storable food company we have is the best. It ships in 1 to 2 weeks now. Highest quality, special needs diets, all of it. Get your orders for storable foods in at InfoWarsStore.com today to make sure you get quality at a great price and it gets delivered quickly. Take this lull where they've gotten caught up on food shipments to get your orders in before what's coming, because even if Trump wins, even if we stabilize stuff, they're gonna start a civil war after that. If he loses, it's gonna go to hell on earth. And I don't just say that. I'm having talks with my wife, my parents, my family. We're getting right with Jesus, folks. It's on like Donkey Kong. So InfoWarsStore.com. Get your high-quality products there. Take advantage of it. Thank you so much.